Hello, this is Jake. I am one of Callie's alters in the DID system. We have Thoughts at Midnight Talk Show with your co-host.
Alexander Hodge.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, mates. So, love is in the air. Disasters in the air.
Yeah.
So Valentine's Day is coming up. Can you feel the love tonight? All right, I'll stop. so, um, so yeah, Valentine's Day is coming up, and man, as you get older, I'm almost in my 30s. I'm still young. I'm still a bit of a young pup out there and shit. But I've learned, as you may know from previous podcasts, I've taken the proverbial red pill. So I am definitely aware, have a heightened sense of awareness of reality and where I'm at in the social dominance hierarchies of the mating selection game. Uh, So thank goodness to that. In fact, thank you, Callie, as well, because it's been a great help with understanding myself and where I'm at as far as and also I can look back on this in the near future and see where I was and what causes certain emotional upbringing and how to handle them, how I dealt with them. So this is a great thing here. It's called Destroy This Journal by Callie Weaver. But currently, Callie is not Callie today. Did you say it was Tom?
Jake.
Jake?
Okay.
So explain to us what I'm already aware of it about what it is. So DID, and you have the full on symptoms of it as well, including allergens. You have a different susceptibility to allergies, literally.
Yeah.
You're not allergic to stuff now. So
5 years ago, 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with about probably 12 or 13 allergies, and now I only have intolerances to vinegar, mint, and an allergy to adhesive.
wow.
So yeah, definitely changed.
So
I'm able to snap out of emotions real quick. So 1 second I could be crying, just totally in hysterics, and the next second I'll be fine. I dissociate all the time. It's very rare that I have a day that I do not dissociate. It's basically just staring out into the space, my
yeah.
brain.
I've seen Callie do it. Best way to describe it, it's almost like the 1,000-yard stare that soldiers give. They're it's like that. So it's like a 1,000-yard stare. It's on, and DID does stem from traumatic experiences and including from childhood. So the stare is understandable. They used to back in the day, like the days of Nam. They used to call that the soldiers' 1,000-yard stare, or and I think that's what this is. I've seen Callie do it. I've seen the stare, and it's very similar to a soldier or veteran having a look on, you know, yeah. So now that there's a lot more research done into mental health and awareness on how the brain works and how our bodies are, and God, I mean, Callie, one of the fears of that, including because I myself also have a couple disabilities as well. I got ADD, I got anxiety, I got depression. Okay. One of our fears is judgment. I've learned I don't judge this. I have a very curious fascination with this. It's like, Callie, you could write a fictional book with these characters. You know that, right?
You have to be very careful about that because the people in the DID community are very quick to jump and fake claim, or which means telling other systems they're fake, or they're very quick to not saying anything bad about the DID community. I'm just explaining. There's a bunch of
Yeah.
shows like Split that just completely get it wrong, and I wouldn't be able to write a book like that because I'm afraid that I'm gonna get something wrong, and it's going to be a laughing like a I don't know.
There's these characters, these alters. Let me get the words right. So these alters. Why does it remind me of pro wrestling?
I don't know, why does it?
Well, I mean, I was just listening to, he had Jerry Experience. They had The Undertaker come on his show. He was on his podcast not too long ago. And to those who are not wrestling fans, The Undertaker was a character that Vince McMahon came up with. He was like an old Western Undertaker. He doesn't speak. Very rarely does he speak. And very scary. Like he's almost like half dead. And he will he does this famous move called the Tombstone Pile Driver. That's where he'll take someone upside down so their head's here. And so he picks them up. His head's here, and he just drops to his knees. And like he's planting a tombstone. That's what it looks like. Well, but you should watch the wrestling show, Callie. You look like, I gotta see this.
Like that could break someone's neck.
Well, no, okay. Well, here's the thing though. They don't actually drop them on their head.
Okay.
Ideally, the head doesn't even touch the mat when he's doing it. So but they make it look like they do. So it's like, and the guy just timbers or boosh, you know. But they don't actually pile drive the guy. I think there'd be a few people out of the wrestling career if that happened. But I wanted to bring this up because these alters, Callie, I've seen some of your drawings as well. What do you call them? What are those little app that you draw these people out, huh?
Chibi.
Chibi, thank you.
That will help people create basically what their alters look like. It's called Chibi. You can find it on iPhone, CHIBI. It has done wonders in allowing me to create avatars that resemble my alters.
Yeah. So The Undertaker was actually Vince McMahon's idea. And it was as if it was one of his alters, you know? That's what I find fascinating about these character creations in pro wrestling, is that a lot of them have an alter ego, you know? And, you know, God, I mean, Vince, they have this one character called the Gobbledygooker. It's like a huge chicken egg that they bring out on the stage, and the guy pops out of it in a chicken suit. So, you know, and God, like, how do they come up with these characters, man? I mean, there's got to be something creatively going on in the brain for a lot of these people. And Callie, that's what I was saying before. I don't judge it like at all. In fact, I find a very curious fascination with the creative potential of this. You know, I mean, look at what we've created now. You got this. You got a blog, and we got a podcast stuff. So, I don't know, I have an appreciation for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now, I myself am definitely more concrete. Like, I know who I am. You know, my thing's in more old school concrete, like, you know. But Callie, we talked about this earlier, that I have like an ideal form of an alter of mine that I try to become in the future. Where it's like an ideal self. So like, I had a dream one time. When I used to weigh a lot, I had a dream one time that of what I wanted to become in life. It's like, you ask your children this: what do you want to be when you grow up? Yeah, usually they say a profession. Well, I actually, back back in the day, when I was, uh, 300 pounds in my early 20s, I had this dream one time of what I wanted to become. And that was almost like an altar of mine. And it's almost like I'm living this altar right now. So, like, nice hair, by the way.
Just want to say, Callie's back. Hi.
Hello, mate. Wait, Callie's back.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's back. What, was it the coat that did it?
No, started dissociating again, so I'm back.
All right. So, that fascination with it, I wanted to bring around.
Time you have ever witnessed a switch, and we literally just got it on camera. We literally just got it on camera too.
I'm gonna watch this video again to see where it happened. Wow. Okay. See,
one of the biggest ways I switched.
Our hope is. Huh?
One of the biggest ways I've switched is I dissociate, and then afterwards, like, I tend to look around a lot. So those are my two biggest red flags that I've just switched. So.
Okay, I've seen this with like the Skies movies, where they look around and like, I'm gonna quickly go in here and change, and then they come back and they're like someone completely different. Okay, very clever. That's interesting. So, like, my hope is that this is a learning experience for everybody. Like, our audience is like they understand more of what DID is and what it looks like, and not to judge, but more like have an appreciation and a curiosity for the creative elements of of this. I wonder if David Bowie had something like this. David Bowie, because he had a lot of alter egos, like in his career, his singing career. My favorite being the Thin White Duke, of course, one of his darkest characters. I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and share that real quick. I mean, look at this. For once, one time he was. Ziggy Stardust. This is what he started as. So that was one of his alters that he created to. So, but then he went from that to something like that, like So I'm quite curious of the creative elements of personality personality disorders, but also
Okay, don't get me wrong, but didn't David Bowie like star in the Labyrinth? Wasn't it David Bowie that was in the Labyrinth?
Yes.
Yes, that's what I know him most for.
He was the Goblin King. He was Jareth.
Mm-hmm.
I find something very, very fascinating behind that movie. Because I think what the movie tells is, if you really think about it, and I may be overthinking this, man, because I'm very analytically minded.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's a movie describing a woman's journey through sexual maturity.
Yeah, we talked about this before.
Yep, we have. So the scene, she starts out as this innocent girly girl, right? She's got a lot of stuff. Got a lot of like little dolls and stuffed animals and, and this and that and the other. Got a lot of stuff. But she's also got this attitude of like, life's not fair, blah, blah, blah. Well, what I find very interesting is that there's some Easter eggs in her like pictures of, I think when Gareth was younger or something. There's something in there. Anyway, but that's another whole other topic. But I really believe now that that was about a journey through a woman's not only self maturity, but also her sexual maturity. Think about it. The the bog of eternal stench. You know, that's like when a girl goes through the mind of, oh, can't imagine myself. You know, the disgusting aspects of it. But then the moment where where Jareth gives her dreams, literally in the form of a peach. And Callie, you geniusly pointed out this about the Bible. In fact, you said you saw it in a TikTok video, that the eating the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good, well, eating the fruit was technically a term. What did it mean again? It was a phrase that they used to use.
It was the phrase for having sex.
Yes, so I think it was I don't think it was just about having sex, but I think it was also about eating the fruits of sex, or actually having the pleasure and the experience of eating the fruits of
yes.
Because there's different ways they describe eating fruits. They also describe eating fruits of the labors. I think what he meant by that is, that feeling of accomplishment you get something when you get something done. We're eating the fruits of the labors, But in that case, they were talking about, well, that brings us back to what David Bowie did, or Jareth did, and gave her dreams. What are her dreams? We actually saw that in the movie, where she was dressed up in a ballroom, they were dancing, then at the end, like it kind of climbed up, mountaintop, and then she's kind of getting thrown around at this point. And now, well, that's actually a metaphor for the act of sex, because you build up, and then you have the act of sex, and then everything bursts, and then you relax. Sometimes you get into the point where you relax and you're just like, oh, why did I do that, right? And that's where you see that scene where she wakes up literally in her own stuff, In the movie, she wakes up in a junkyard after having this dream of ballroom dancing with the Goblin King, right? So she wakes up from that, buried in her material world. But then something very interesting happens. The goblins themselves come to rescue her from the underworld. They come to rescue her. Well, I think what that is, it's the same thing as the tale of Jonah. Because someone went in to rescue Jonah from the belly of the whale. Well, and including, this also has to tie in with the story of Arthur, when he extracts the sword from the material world. What's happening with Sarah in the labyrinth is that she's being extracted from the material world, and then she realizes, oh, I'm not owed anything. These material possessions of mine are just that. They're material. I need to focus on what's important in my life, which is my connection with my relationships to Toby, which is the baby, her baby brother. So she realizes that all of her things, the material possessions, don't really matter that much anymore. So you can see the walls tumbling down around her, and she realizes, she wakes up, and then something very interesting happens. She goes and faces Jareth after the battle, but then she faces him. But she said to face him alone. Why alone? I think it's because the act of intimacy is private. Yeah, that's not a kiss and tell story, honey. That's not a kiss and tell story, honey. That's a private. Because I think we all have kind of our own private lives, that we don't get out there. And I'm also curious, Callie. These altars are almost like masks to the privacy, isn't it? I'm just curious.
No, I wouldn't say they're like masks. They So you got to understand the origin of DID, where it comes from. It's a trauma response.
Well, that's right.
Yep.
That. Yeah, okay, that's right.
Yeah. So for our audience to clarify, when a child or a baby is growing up into the stages of becoming an adult, in those first few years, the consciousness, there are different states of consciousness that are slowly musing together to create this one state of consciousness, which you have. Well, with the trauma that happened to me, the states of consciousness were not able to mold together. They had separators. They were cut off in different parts. That's what I understand about the ID.
Yep.
It was more like, I wouldn't say a mask.
Okay. I think it's deeper than that, though.
It is.
Because it has to do with the ego and the way the brain's set up to, because it's deeper than that. It's not just a mask. It's more like the ego in and of itself. Callie, you know, and you've had them before, when you have ego deaths, and you have to like.
I've had my fair share of those.
Yeah, well, when you hit, and I've noticed you call it rock bottom. You call it hitting rock bottom.
Because where else can you go from there?
In a previous podcast, exactly, you can only go up from there. We've also called it on a previous podcast the skeleton, but I've identified it as the self. It's the self that the ego collapses in on when things aren't working out. Well, it seems like each time that happens, that we when we're young, we don't really have our egos put together for long enough because we haven't really experienced the world for long enough. So what do? That's where these ultras come from. So that's what I know so far. So whenever a traumatic experience happens, where there's an ego death, when you're young, right, you don't really have the resources to collapse in on yourself so much. So you have to create another type of self that's completely different from. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So, Scratch becomes your friend in a way, That's what David Goggins says as well. Scratch becomes your friend. Because you have that foundation to collapse in on, and you know that you can also, you're resilient. You can get better from it, Yeah, what's up, Callie?
Every time I hear Scratch, I think of a Halloween children's joke that I saw in a book. And so there was this picture, there was this children's book, and it said that this witch made cookies from scratch. Well, it was a tombstone with, "Here lies our beloved pet dog, Scratch."
Oh.
That was what?
Oh, that's sad.
But it's
the cookie one. I like that one. I like the cookie one.
Scratch, I think of that, and that was from like when I was a child, and I'm freaking now.
Yeah.
Like that stuck with me.
Yeah. So yeah. So Callie, I want to bring this up.
What's up?
You tried DDPY for the first time. Dhammadas Page Yoga.
I nearly passed out from it. I loved it.
Because before we did it, you were anxious. You were kind of like, But I noticed after we did it though, and now talking to you now, because it works,
Shoulders are still a little stiff and hurting. Ooh, my back.
I'll bet.
My back just popped. I just did that and my back popped.
We have to do another session tomorrow.
Yeah. Didn't get around to the other half today, so I'll definitely get it done tomorrow.
All right, so let me know. I'll do it with you.
Okay. It'll have to be after work, though.
It'll be an afternoon for me, too, because I'm going to be going up skiing, so. Going up skiing. Yeah. Ah,
You
that's
love
been going
your
very
skiing.
well too. Huh?
You love your skiing.
I do. I do now. You know, you gotta. I have so much more of an appreciation for it because I know what it's like to not be able to do those things already. You know, when I'm young, when I was young, like some of that shit should have, it shouldn't be happening until I'm older, but I got that back. So I have a more of an appreciation for being able to move and do athletic pursuits. You all right, Callie?
I stubbed my toe on my headboard.
I would say, oh, it looked like
Ouch.
you were about to. It looked like you were trying to seep out a fart there for a second. It was like, oh my god, changing flavors.
No! No, now people are gonna reverse it and oh
You're
I'm
welcome.
stop. Changing flavors. Why are we
Mine smells
this?
like toast. Yeah, toast.
Why are we like this?
You just
We're
man.
definitely going on the bloopers.
This section, oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're still recording. Rock and roll.
We haven't even ended it yet.
Oh, we're still wrecking. Heck yeah. So
Just love
it's a
that
Valentine's Day.
audience letting you guys know our conversations are not always 1,000% serious like on all of our podcasts though.
Oh, as it should be,
Later.
Kelly. As it should be. There's a balance. There's a balance. All right. So Valentine's, that's next week, isn't it? The 14th? A Monday.
8 days.
I'll be off. I'm off Monday, so ladies, I mean, das ist gut, ich liebe dich. Hit me with your rhythm stick. No. It's a song, Callie. It's
My
a
mind
song.
was bad. My mind was very dirty.
I'll bet it did. You're welcome.
With your rhythm stick.
Hit me with your rhythm stick. Das ist gut, ich liebe dich. Yeah, anyway.
That was German.
Yeah, it was. It's in the song, too.
Say it slower. I want to translate it.
All right. You can translate it from on there.
No, just say it.
Okay. Hit me with your rhythm stick. Das ist gut, ich liebe dich.
That is good. I love you.
Yeah. It's a funny song. First time I heard it was actually at the ski resort.
As to your question, if I can translate it on here, no, if I translated it in here. I know German, Alex. Was ist das Scheiße?
Hmm?
Was ist das Scheiße?
What is
No,
that
no.
shit?
Yup! I think I taught you that one.
You did.
Good. You remembered.
Yep. I also remember this one. Kann ich bitte Papiers?
What?
Meaning, let's see. Like, may I please see your papers?
Okay.
And the reason I had to learn that one was because I was playing this game, and it was not one of those like silly like shooter kind of multiplayer battle royale. No, this was a campaign-based game, but it was an older version of it, and you had to know a little bit of German to get past some of the levels.
Mm-hmm.
So you had to know when they ask for your ID, but you also had to know where they're pointing you in certain directions, or they're saluting you, or when you've been busted. So you got to understand the words. So if you got caught, you know what to do. So, kann Ihnen sich Ausweis bitte? They would ask you for your ID. Ausweis translates to identification. So it depends on who asks you in the game. If the officer is wearing a black uniform with the red, classic SS, when they ask you, you can show them your ID and they'll let you pass. The ones that are in the gray uniform with the cap on, if they ask you, shoot them. Yep. You don't want them finding that out because they'll know.
Wow.
It's had a very interesting mechanic game.
What was this game called?
Medal of Honor Allied Assault. You might those old style gamers out there might recognize the level I'm talking about. Do you remember scuttling the U-boat? That was my favorite level, where if you played it right, you don't just go in guns blazing. You're actually undercover as an agent, as a German officer. If those that remember that game, let me know. That one was a classic. But Medal of Honor Allied Assault was the game, and I went no subtitles for a while playing the game. Like I went no subtitles, so that means I can't read what they're saying. Now that is an option. You can have that on there. You can cheat and it'll translate it to English when they ask you. But after learning a little bit of German, I decided to go without that and see how I did. Because I could tell like who's who. I could tell the ones that are in the gray. Like avoid them. They ask you, boom, shoot them. Silence pistol. You don't want anyone hearing it either. That was another interesting mechanic of the game. If you shot them with something loud, it would have alerted the whole facility. So it was a very interesting game. But that song, "Hit Me with Your Rhythm Stick," I heard that one at the ski resort.
I completely forgot we were talking about that. I thought you were going to say, "Hit me with your best shot."
Hit me with your rhythm stick. Hit me hard. Wait, hit me slowly. Hit me fast. So yeah. Disasters in the air. Can you feel the love tonight? Yeah. Man, red pill awareness can go a long way. I think it does, Red pill awareness, right? So yeah. What do I have going on for me in the near future as well? Well, if you're ready to wrap this up, then we'll explain what our plans are, and then but yeah, again, got a new book out, Callie. You want to go ahead and promote this real quick? So where can we find this?
On Amazon. It is currently down for the moment. I am working on doing a better update on it.
Okay, rock and roll.
We're excited for it. Currently not on the market right now. Alex got one of the very first copies, so
first buyer right away. So, and I will say, it's got very well structured, and you know what to put in it. It's not like you're lost doing a journal yourself. It actually structures it so you know what you're putting in.
Yeah.
Really helps out.
Yeah, I got the other copy of it, so
there it is.
Real book.
Hmm?
It's got some cool stuff in it.
Says modestly.
Hey, I'm not the one that wrote that. Tom, by the way, hi.
Oh, Tom's back?
Tom's back.
Oh my goodness. So it happens quick on occasion.
It takes a few seconds of like dissociation and stuff, but then it's usually pretty quick, but sometimes depends.
Okay. This just flashed right in front of me. So now you're which one again? Jake?
Tom.
Tom?
Vocal differences are a big thing. My voice is a lot deeper than Jake's and more than Callie's, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I can hear it. Okay.
Yeah. And the cool thing is, like, this is my natural voice, so I'm not straining. I'm not trying to, like, if I were to try
definitely
to
not
like
putting
Callie,
on an effort to
you know.
make that voice. This is actually coming from within.
Yeah.
The thing that we need to know about DID is that it is a physical thing that happens, literally, because the brain chemistry and our body chemistry has also changed as well. So, like, the allergies don't really affect you now, and I have a theory as to why that is, because our brains are basically like electrochemical processors, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of our chemistry is changed when our brain changes, but for some people the brain changes like that, and
Okay, here's
the
something
chemistry
cool.
also changes. So that's very fascinating.
Here's something really cool that's gonna fascinate you even more.
Hmm.
So, I'm gonna dish out a little secret here. Certain alters can be sick while the host is actually not sick. So they can be sick and then they can do a different front. Someone else can front and they won't be sick.
Wow.
Completely depends. So it's each person specific. Each alter specific. So I don't really like the term alter. I like person, friend, you know. We're different in that way.
Yeah. You have any favorites? Or does it really work that way?
It does, but I don't know. I think I'd have to say either Paige or Ashley, but don't tell them I said that.
Got it.
Let's hope
Got
they
it.
don't watch this.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
Definitely get to Ashley's head. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, for anyone wondering, there are 26 of us alters. For lack of a better
put that in
term,
mind if you're inviting Callie as a
we have
friend.
a trauma
Remember,
alter
you're
too.
also inviting 26 other people into your into your circle. Alters, yeah.
Yep. It gets really weird because, like, I don't know, there are certain things that we're comfortable with doing that others would be not comfortable. It's just really weird. It depends on the altar.
Okay.
For lack of a better
Very
term.
interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so are we ready to wrap this up, or?
Yep. Let's boogie. All right. So.
Okay, well, this is Tom.
And this is Alex Hodge, and we hope that hopefully this was like a learning experience for you all, and as well as about DID. Also, Valentine's Day is coming up, so ladies out there, be good to your man. You know what I'm saying? He's out there working hard. He's out. Let's hope so. Let's hope, right? Let's hope that your hypergamy is correct and you pick the right guy. And he's out there working hard, busting his ass. Like pushing the fucking Atlas up the hill. Sisyphus or whatever the guy's called, and he's out there working his butt off. So show him some love. Show him some appreciation for the hard work that he does. And also, men out there, just surrender to it, man. Because women, you guys are different cats. I swear. I mean, they are different. They're literally their rationalization is different. All that's So yeah, so guys, just surrender to it. Yeah. So if you got a girl that loves you, and you wake up to, and women out there, show him some appreciation for hard work, and you guys out there, you take care of your queens. All right, you know what I'm saying? So, all right. So you have a wonderful night.
This is Tom, and we have your co-host,
Alexander Hodge.
with Thoughts at Midnight. Have a great night, everyone.